double kettlebell swing is a favorite of mine, but it is quite a bit different from just the standard swing in not a ton of ways, but a few very important ones. So truth be told, it really is just the same thing as a regular swing in the sense that there's a hinge at the hips and you have to stand up explosively. But the difference is the width of the feet. You're not going to get away with a very narrow stance with double bells. You're going to have to go a little wider. Now, the other thing that's typically going to necessitate is that your hips are going to have to go down a little bit more. This is for two reasons. So, number one, because of the wider stance, it's just a better way to load up the hips. But number two, the weight of the kettlebells is more likely to pull you down further in any case. So there's a common misconception with swings that you've got to try to get them as high as humanly possible, and while that's okay, there's no rule that says you have to do that, right? Your knees are supposed to bend in the swing. That's just the nature of the movement. So they're probably going to bend a little bit more with these, and that's perfectly fine. If you feel like your hamstrings and your glutes are loaded up like crazy and are really helping you to explode forth with a lot of power, you're doing them right. Don't bother trying to get this super strict, kind of like a Romanian deadlift style of swing. It's just not going to happen. And it's kind of weak, to be honest with you. All right, so what we're going to do for the double kettlebell swing, I'm going to give you my personal recommendations. Now, a lot of times people will do them like this. I'm not a big fan. One of the reasons why is because if you look just from the side, what happens when I internally rotate my shoulders, naturally I just start doing this with my posture, which is really not what we're after. So, and the other option would be just this kind of like parallel grip here. Again, not a huge fan of that, just because it makes it so that you have to take a much wider stance. Yet another one is this kind of like this parallel grip, right? You see this a lot in gear voice sport or kettlebell sport. Not the end of the world, but I feel like it's not as easy to get the kind of depth that you want. What I personally prefer is the external V shape. So it's kind of like this. So you might have noticed that I did that for the cleans for the front squat. We're going to do this exactly the same for the swing. Because what this is going to allow is, number one, it's going to make it very, very straightforward. Your hips can get just wide enough, and you don't have to go excessively wide, and there's not going to be as much knocking together of the bells as there would be if your hands were just this overhand position like this. So the other thing is that it's going to set you up very well for other double kettlebell drills, so it's kind of a win all around. Now again, this is a personal recommendation. You can do it how you like, but if you want to do it the hammer way, and I suggest that you do, this is how you'll do it. All right? So once again, I'm going to lean, I'm going to pull them back, now, final thing to notice is that you might have seen that on the first few swings, the bells didn't go as high. That's pretty normal. So the thing with the swing is that because you're starting with no momentum, like it's not quite like a squat where you're starting at the top, squat down, and stand up. With pulling movement like with swings, you're starting with with the bottom part of it, right? So what this means is, particularly when the weight gets a little heavier, you might start to notice that as time goes on, within a few reps, you've got the momentum going, or you can get a lot higher. And that's what you can expect. Now, as you start getting stronger, you're going to find that, boom, it's automatically going to go up to chest height. One of the things that will help with this is keeping the power swings in a regular rotation. And so this is a part of the speed leg day. So you can expect to see this increase pretty quickly, meaning the ability to get the bells at chest height within, let's say, the first set, as opposed to taking several sets to get there. So just something to keep in mind.